Hello, in this video we'll look at the periods in the development of the English language. These periods are Old English, Middle English, Early Modern English, and Modern English. Old English started with the Anglo-Saxon invasion to the British Isles in the 5th century AD. Middle English started with the Norman invasion in 1066 in the 11th century AD. Early modern English developed after the Renaissance and was fixed by the printing press. Its development started in the 16th century, and modern English developed after the spread of the British Empire, when English became a global language. This process started from the 19th century. So all these periods of the English language were different or differed by, first of all, the type of a language or the word order. Old English was a synthetic language with no fixed word order. In Middle English, word order became fixed, and Modern English is a language with fixed word order, or it's an analytical language. When the language is synthetic, it means that there are 4 cases for nouns and adjectives, nominative, accusative, genitive, and dative. And nouns and verbs have many forms and endings. When the language becomes analytical and when the word order is fixed, so the number of cases lessens, there are fewer cases, and now English has very few flexions. They disappeared due to 2 reasons: loss of grammatical endings and fixed word order. So the word order became fixed. And the standard of writing in Old English was based on the runic alphabet. Later it was substituted by Latin alphabet. In Middle English, the French standards of writing were introduced. In early modern English, spelling was fixed by the printing press, but pronunciation changed, and it changed due to the great vowel shift. And finally, spelling hasn't changed since the 19th century, but the pronunciation continues to be changing. That's why we have so many difficulties with English spelling. So vocabulary of the English language also changed all the time. During the Old English period, vocabulary was almost of Germanic origin, plus borrowings from Latin. In the Middle English, when the Norman invasion started and the French language became a dominant language on the British Isles, there were three types of languages: Germanic vocabulary for everyday notions, French vocabulary for court and government, and Latin vocabulary for the church. In the early modern English period, when Renaissance started, there were many languages of Renaissance origin. So they are Italian, Greek, and Latin, many borrowings of these languages, plus the borrowings from new territories. And today, in the modern English period, the words are coined to name some inventions with such ways as composition, conversion, derivation, shortening, and back formation. Let's look at the history of the English language in a more visualized way. Celts lived on the British Isles before Celts and Romans, before the Anglo-Saxons came. So also there were Vikings. This is the Old English period. The Normans came from France and brought the French language, and this is the Middle English period. The Renaissance and the start of the New Age made the early modern English period. Printing press was very important. Many words were borrowed. Shakespeare is one of the leading figures of the time. And finally, modern English is the time where we live now, and English is influenced by many countries and many invasions today.